My husband locked me in a freezer while I was 8 months pregnant. 8 months pregnant, I went to deliver documents to my husband Marcus's office during a brutal heat wave. The temperature inside hit 115 degrees Fahrenheit, and just as I reached for the AC controls, his secretary stopped me. "Mrs. Sterling, I'm on my period and the cold makes my cramps worse. Please don't turn it on." Worried about heat stroke harming my baby, I gave her a look and switched on the air conditioning anyway. That evening, Marcus came home furious. "Do you know that 38 minutes and 19 seconds of cold air sent Nina to the ICU with severe cramping?" "Marcus, are you seriously telling me period cramps sent someone to intensive care? I was about to pass out from heat stroke. That could have killed me and our baby. Are you drunk?" He nodded slowly, jaw clenched. "You're right. I was being ridiculous." That night, Marcus tucked me into bed as usual. But I woke up trapped in a glass-walled industrial freezer, surrounded by his business associates laughing and recording on their phones. Marcus stood outside with his arm around Nina's waist, both of them smiling at my terror. "Worried about heat stroke? Let's see how you handle the cold." I stayed calm, pulling out my phone to photograph each of their faces. Before dialing. "Dad, I need these people gone. Tonight." Chapter 1. The call disconnected. The crowd outside erupted in laughter. "Victoria, your father's been dead for 6 months. Did the cold freeze your brain? Still playing the Sterling princess? Even fairy tales aren't this delusional." Marcus's eyes gleamed with satisfaction as he draped his cashmere coat over Nina's shoulders, pulling her close as they approached the freezer. He tapped the glass with one finger. "Cold, Victoria? Ready to apologize?" The massive digital thermometer showed -58 degrees Fahrenheit. I was still wearing the silk nightgown from bed, shivering violently. My skin where it touched the floor had turned purple-black, burning with numbness and sharp, stabbing pain. I stumbled toward them and slammed my fist against the glass. "What exactly did I do wrong, Marcus?" "It was 115 degrees. I'm pregnant. Heat stroke could kill us both." The sudden movement sent cramping pain through my abdomen. I clutched my stomach and crouched down, glaring at him with bloodshot eyes. "Marcus, let me out. You know what I went through to have this baby. I can't lose him." Something flickered in his eyes. He knew exactly what this pregnancy had cost me. After Marcus's accident left him with fertility issues, I'd endured 8 years of IVF treatments. 8 years of needles, hormones, and heartbreak. Thousands of injections, countless procedures, until finally this miracle. 8 months of careful, anxious protection of this pregnancy. Once, he'd broken a maid's arm for serving me lukewarm tea during morning sickness. Now he'd locked me in a freezer for Nina's period cramps. Bitterness flooded my chest as I tried again. Nina suddenly yanked off the coat Marcus had given her, tears streaming down her face. "Marcus, please let her out. Look at her, she's so delicate, not like me. I'm used to hardship." I passed out in that cold office and didn't even complain. Passed out? I'd run the AC for 30 minutes. When I left, Nina was laughing on the phone. Making plans to hit the clubs. Before I could explain, Marcus's expression darkened. "Someone get in there and strip her coat off. She thinks she's so precious? Today she'll learn what real hardship feels like." He picked up the coat, gently wrapping it around Nina again while watching me coldly. "You'll stay in there until you admit you were wrong. The doctor says my son is perfectly healthy, don't try using him as an excuse." He swept Nina into his arms, his voice dripping with tenderness. "Baby, you can't be on your feet during your period. I'll carry you. Let them judge." Chapter 2. Marcus had barely settled Nina into a chair when several men rushed toward me with predatory grins. I clutched my nightgown desperately, backing into a corner, but I was no match for multiple attackers. The silk tore like paper. Instantly, Arctic air invaded every pore. They stripped me down to my underwear, laughing as they left. "Damn, Sterling, you feed her well. That body's incredible. Thanks for letting us take care of your wife, man." I huddled in the corner in my underwear, my warm skin sticking to the frozen floor. Every movement tore away skin, leaving bloody patches that stood out starkly against the white frost. Marcus noticed the blood pooling at his feet. He approached the glass, about to speak when Nina ran up behind him. She pressed her hand against the glass where my blood had smeared, voice trembling. "Victoria, just apologize. Marcus has all his business partners here, hey, can't back down now." I stared at her coldly. "Apologize for what? You seemed pretty comfortable with that AC when you were making plans to." Marcus's eyes flashed with momentary doubt, but before I could finish, Nina slapped herself hard across the face and dropped to her knees. She grabbed Marcus's hand, sobbing. "Marcus, I can't watch her suffer like this. If she won't apologize, I'll kneel out here with her." His doubt vanished instantly. He pulled her up, then turned to me with disgust. "Victoria, you're spoiled rotten. Nina's put up with your abuse for years, and now when you're clearly wrong, she's still trying to help you. You don't deserve it. I'm fixing your princess complex today. No apology, no release." He waved to his associates. "Bring in ice blocks. Surround her with them. Then pour water over everything, let her freeze to the floor. And get more ice ready." One of the younger women tugged his sleeve. Marcus, ice and water create a seal stronger than glue. She'll lose skin if she moves. She's 8 months pregnant. Marcus hesitated until Nina whimpered behind him. Marcus. It's fine. My time in the ICU wasn't that bad. His expression hardened. Do exactly what I said. Chapter 3. The woman tried to protest again, but Marcus cut her off. This is nothing compared to what Nina suffered. I've got ambulances on standby. What could go wrong? With Marcus's order confirmed, the men returned with industrial ice blocks. They grabbed my hair, walling me in with ice, then dumped freezing water over my head. Instantly, my skin bonded to the ice like superglue. The cold penetrated through every pore into my bones. I'd been trapped for over 5 hours. My limbs had turned black-purple. To protect the baby, I tried shifting position, but each tiny movement ripped away flesh. Soon the clear ice was painted red with my blood. Even the laughing crowd fell silent at the horrific sight. Through the red haze, I screamed at Marcus. If anything happens to this baby, you murdered your own child. I'll haunt you both until you're dead. Marcus's confidence wavered. He approached, trying to see through the bloody glass. Then someone shouted from behind. Sterling. My dad just spotted a private jet on the Winters family's restricted flight path. Marcus's face went white. He punched the glass, roaring. Victoria, what did you do? You can't threaten me with your family forever. Before I could answer, Nina rushed over to comfort him, looking at me with tearful accusation. Victoria, why torture Marcus like this? You know how your father treated him. Now that he's gone, the Winters' fortune is gone too. What's the point of this charade? Her words ignited Marcus's rage. Turn it down to -150 degrees Fahrenheit. Now. His associates hesitated at the extreme temperature, but seeing his fury, they complied. Arctic wind blasted through the vents. I couldn't even speak anymore, teeth chattering violently. Through my fading consciousness, I felt a sharp, tearing pain in my abdomen. Looking down, I saw blood flowing like a river. Between my legs, steaming in the frigid air. The hot blood melted channels through the ice, flowing out toward Marcus's feet. Finally understanding, I pounded the glass desperately. Marcus. Let me out. The baby. Save our baby. Marcus stood frozen as the blood reached his shoes. He grabbed the nearest person, screaming. Get the keys. The doctor said there'd be no problems. What's happening? Chapter 4. Someone handed him the keys, but his hands shook so badly he dropped them at Nina's feet. He gripped her arm frantically. Nina, quick. Open the door. Get her out. Terrified by his desperation, Nina ran to the freezer door without even putting on shoes. She glanced back at Marcus, inserted the key with her back to him. As she turned, I caught a flash of triumphant hatred in her eyes. Snap. The key broke off in the lock. Nina fell to her knees dramatically. Marcus, the key, it broke. His face went gray. He stumbled to the door. How? How did it break? Get a locksmith. Now. The warm blood had filled the freezer floor. The pain was unbearable. Marcus. Victoria hasn't apologized. You said you'd teach her a lesson. All your friends are watching. And what about justice for my time in the ICU? You promised. Marcus stopped the person running for help, turning back. He pounded on the door, pleading. Victoria, please, just apologize. For our baby, please? Say you're sorry and I'll let you out immediately. You don't want our baby hurt either, right? Please, Victoria, just this once? The massive blood loss made everything fade. I lay in the pooling blood, whispering. Marcus, let me out, or my father will destroy you. Nina's hidden smirk became open mockery, though her voice stayed pitiful. Victoria, are you confused? Your father died 6 months ago. The Winters family is bankrupt. Just apologize. No one else can save you. The crowd joined in. Princess Winters, wake up. Your daddy's feeding the fishes. Still thinking he'll save you? They pulled at Marcus's sleeve. Sterling, she's faking. The baby's fine. Don't let her manipulate you. Yeah, after what she did to Nina, you can't go soft. The freezer glass was completely fogged with blood. They couldn't see inside, but I could feel my baby's movements growing. Weaker. My screams echoed off the walls. Marcus paced frantically outside before turning back with desperation. Victoria, forget about your father. He's dead. Just say you're sorry, please? Just 3 words and you're out. Wife, please, your father's not coming to save you. The moment he finished speaking, the warehouse doors exploded open. A team of armed military contractors stormed in. A commanding voice boomed from the entrance. Who says her father won't save her? Chapter 5. Everyone's face drained of color at that voice. They tried to turn but found guns at their heads. Marcus went white, staring at me before slowly turning around. When their eyes met, Marcus collapsed. He pointed with a shaking finger at the approaching figure, stammering. Mr. Winters, you died 6 months ago. Everyone who heard Marcus say my father's name nearly fainted. Gabriel Winters was a legend in our world. At 13, he'd inherited the crumbling Winters empire after my grandfather's death. The business world celebrated for a week when a child took over, seeing opportunity in our downfall. Within a week, Winters Corp declared bankruptcy. They thought we were finished forever. 2 years later, at a crucial Seattle real estate auction, a teenager bought every property available $3 billion worth. Everyone mocked the foolish kid until 3 days later when he paid in full. Someone recognized him. That's Gabriel Winters. At 13, he'd left America with our family's debts and disappeared. No one knew where he'd gone or what he'd done, but at 15, he returned with billions and rebuilt the Winters empire. Those who'd investigated him never returned. Those who'd tried to destroy him found their own businesses decimated. Within 3 years, Gabriel Winters had made our name untouchable again. That's why Marcus's associates were terrified. Especially Marcus's entire success came from my father's mentorship. These past years of guidance had taught him to fear my father above all else. Father ordered the freezer broken open while approaching Marcus. Disappointed I'm not dead? His voice was quiet but commanding. Marcus shrank back, trembling. No, Mr. Winters, when I heard about your accident, I cried all night. You made me who I am. I prayed for your safety every day. Even thinking you were gone, I kept your teachings in my heart. Father glanced at the broken freezer door, his voice turning arctic. He grabbed Marcus by the collar. Then why did you do this to Victoria? Tell me why. Why couldn't she run the AC for 30 minutes in that heat? Why? Did you lock my pregnant daughter in a freezer? Tell me. I'd rarely seen Father this angry. The last time was when Mother Deed wept with rage at failing to protect her. Marcus had never seen this side of him. He shook harder, dropping to his knees. Mr. Winters, it's not what it looks like. Victoria's always been spoiled. I wanted to teach her a lesson. I would have let her out. You think you can discipline my daughter? Who the hell do you think you are? Before Marcus could finish, Father's fist connected with his face. His eyes were red with restrained tears. If anything happens to her, you won't leave here alive. He turned to the cowering associates. That goes for all of you. If my daughter says one word about pain, you'll join her in the grave. They stood frozen, not daring to breathe. Mr. Winters, we got her out. I reached weakly for Father's hand. The moment my frozen fingers touched his warmth, darkness claimed me. Chapter 6. I woke to the sharp smell of disinfectant, wrapped in bandages, every movement agony. Victoria, you're awake. Thank God. Thank God I protected you this time. Warm, dry hands stroked my hair. Seeing Father's haggard face, I broke down completely. My hand moved slowly to my stomach. The flatness I found destroyed me. Dad, the baby. His tears fell on my pillow before he spoke. We couldn't save him. I'm so sorry, Victoria. I tried everything. Despair crushed me. Before I could speak, the door burst open. Marcus stumbled in, collapsing at my bedside. Father slapped him hard, raising his hand to call security. I stopped him. Dad. 8 years together deserved closure. Father understood, sighing as he left. Victoria, don't go soft again. Once Father left, Marcus grabbed my hand, apologizing frantically. I'm sorry, Victoria. I never meant for this to happen. I asked the doctor said you were far enough along, with proper care nothing would go wrong. I never wanted to hurt our baby. Victoria, I know you hate Nina. I swear, if you forgive me, I'll never see her again. 8 years of memories flooded back. I'd met Marcus in Father's office. He was a nobody, a random applicant for Father's assistant position. Father had already chosen someone else when a massive chandelier fell. Marcus threw himself over me, taking the blow. His quick thinking saved my life. That earned him a position at Father's side. He wasn't talented or sophisticated. His business sense was average at best. But Father never forgot a debt. Because Marcus saved me, Father mentored him like a son. I'd grown up surrounded by privilege, by boys walking paths their fathers paved. I'd never met someone so desperately hungry for success, fighting for every scrap of opportunity. Father noticed my feelings first. On my birthday, he kept me up all night in his study. Victoria, Marcus isn't right for you. I know why he attracts you, but that hunger will hurt you. You need someone who's your equal. I cut him off and never gave him another chance to object. After that birthday, I moved out and quit the family business to prove my commitment to Marcus. Father stopped fighting me. Marcus and I became the couple everyone envied, proof that love could overcome class differences. Marcus rose in the company while my startup flourished. No matter how late he worked, he'd wait outside my building with flowers. Everyone knew Mr. Sterling's meetings ended by 9 p.m. He'd leave by 8:30 to find me. His devotion gave me confidence to face Father again. 8 years later, in that same study, I swirled my wine and smiled. See? I chose well. We're having a baby. Time for your real blessing, Dad. Father had been drinking at dinner. For the first time in 8 years, he acknowledged my choice. Victoria, let's make a bet. If Marcus passes this test, I'll give him everything. The next day, Father was pushed off a yacht in international waters. Within 3 days, Winter's corpse collapsed like a hunted giant. Chapter 7. At first, I believed in Marcus completely. He searched for Father 7 days and nights, refusing food, surviving on water I forced him to drink. I secretly filmed him searching and sent it to Father. Father just smiled without responding. After 7 days with no trace, I finally convinced Marcus to give up. With Father dead, Marcus became heir apparent to the Winter's empire. His years of training showed not as smooth as Father, but he saved the company from complete destruction. The day he rebranded Winter's corp, Marcus held me after making love. Victoria, seeing the Winter's name hurts too much. Can we change it to Sterling Corp? My heart clenched, but remembering his desperate search for Father, I agreed. The next day, the massive Winter's sign became Sterling. That was the first change I didn't report to Father. My messages to him grew less frequent as things spiraled beyond my expectations. First came the female secretary. Initially, Marcus replaced her when I objected. But when HR sent Nina, he stopped caring about my feelings. For the first time, impatience colored his voice. Victoria, when will you lose this princess attitude? Don't you know female secretaries are more detail-oriented? Sterling Corp is hanging by a thread, can you not make problems? He'd forgotten that his own career began as Father's personal secretary, and his first company speech praised male secretaries as brave, decisive, rational. He listed 10,000 advantages, all forgotten when Nina arrived. Marcus came home later and later. Mr. Sterling's 9 p.m. rule became midnight, then later. Soon he missed my prenatal appointments. Father texted first, it's not too late to stop this. But I was too proud. I couldn't believe Marcus would fail this test. Until he locked me in a freezer for Nina's cramps. In that moment, clarity hit me like ice water. I finally saw him clear-eyed never truly loved me. Maybe from that first interview, maybe when he saved me from the chandelier. It had all been calculated. Victoria, don't ignore me. You're scaring me. Please forgive me? I really do love you. Have you forgotten our 8 years? Marcus's please interrupted my thoughts. I turned to him and exhaled slowly. I've forgotten. Chapter 8. The words surprised even Meth complete despair after ultimate disappointment. Marcus clearly hadn't expected that answer. His grip loosened as tears streamed down his face. Victoria. Stop. Let's divorce, Marcus. The words drained me completely. I'd imagined our future countless times growing old together, surrounded by grandchildren, even our final hospital goodbye. But never this. After loving him my entire adult life, tears came unbidden. I knew we were finished forever. Marcus shook uncontrollably, banging his head on the floor. Victoria, no. I love you. Please, one more chance? Hearing him say my name now made me sick. I hit the call button. Father burst in with security, throwing the sobbing Marcus out. As his cries faded down the hallway, peace finally returned. Father wiped my tears gently. Victoria, it will pass. I've been thinking maybe without my test, you could have been happy forever. No. I interrupted him for the first time. Thank you for showing me the truth while there was still time. Because seeing Marcus kneel, I realized I'd never truly known this man. He'd risk his life for power, abandon dignity for wealth. If Father had believed me, if he'd given Marcus the Winter's empire, today's victims might have been Father and me. A month later, I left the hospital. Scrolling through my phone, I saw the news. After leaving the hospital, Marcus vanished from Seattle. 3 days ago, he appeared on the Sterling Corp tower. Looking at the signs that once again read Winters, he smiled and jumped. The next day, they found Nina dead in the building's basement, apparent suicide. Within a month, every associate who'd watched me suffer met similar fates, all traced back to Marcus. Father survived to trend on social media for 6 months. During that time, Winters Corp absorbed dozens of companies, growing stronger. I built new walls around my heart, harder than before. Maybe no one would ever break through again. But that's exactly what I wanted. Wasn't it? The end.